Hello, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Everything on the stream look okay? Everything good to go? Having a couple technical difficulties earlier. Didn't get things going quite as fast as I'd have liked. But we're up and running now, so I'm actually going to wait until about 7:05 since I didn't start it as early as I usually do. To get things going. Well, hello, Delta Breeze. Oh, there we go. I see some people in here now. Things are updating. How's everybody doing? I'm freezing. I don't know about you guys. Cold out. The wind. This weather. Tired, too. Not enough sleep. Hello, M. O'Hara 11. Glad to see you tuned in again. I appreciate the commitment. How does the video look right now? Does it look a little better than it has the last couple nights? Made a couple tweaks. Thinking maybe it's not quite as fuzzy. Oh! My vest! Haha! Who would I be if I didn't have my vest? Glad somebody's keeping track of me here. Well, hello, Slick Willie 611. How are you doing tonight? Actually, I'm going to do this right now so that it is out of the way. Ooh, don't mind my hand there. Couldn't find my external keyboard today either. Everything is just running behind, so you're going to have to deal with my hand for a second whenever I type. Alrighty. In 1 second. Ah, my keyboard. It arrived as if by magic. It's amazing how those things work, isn't it? Ta-da! Whoop. And a cup of tea. Man, I've got it good. Alright, so to begin with, I'm going to run things a little bit different tonight. We're not going to have a choice of genre. I'm just going to tell a story as it comes up in my head. And we're going to start out by doing a couple giveaways to get our characters. So, let me get the giveaway set up. And you're going to want to go ahead in 1 second when I say to type in exclamation mark pick me. All right, go ahead. Type in exclamation mark pick me. And I will roll for a winner. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and roll now. The winner of the first giveaway is M. O'Hara 11. I need a character. It can be an animal. It can be a human. Yeah, let's go with animal or human. and give me a name to go with it. And you choose the animal if you go the route of animal. A lion. And what is our lion's name? Joseph. Joseph the lion. All right, now everyone go ahead and enter pick me again. And we're going to do another giveaway for our other character. Once everyone's entered, I'll roll it again. I'll give it 30 seconds or so. Let me just make a note about our character so I don't forget, because I have a terrible memory. Alrighty. And rolling. Slick Willy 611. I need another character, an animal, or a human, your choice, and a name for them. A boy named Will. Imagine that. Okay. And last but not least, one more giveaway. Everyone hit pick me again. And then we're going to jump right into this story. Alrighty, rolling. Delta Breeze 320. I need a place. It can be a city. It can be a country. It can be a town. It can be any place. Something along those lines, though. Lake Eaton State Park. That's a good one. I know that place. Been there my fair share of times. So, we're going to get right into story mode. Allow me to take you to a faraway land and tell you the tale of a boy named Will. Will lived amongst the rolling green hills of Lake Eaton State Park. Now, he lived in an area in the hills that was hidden from that of the normal people. There seemed to be an invisible wall that surrounded it. Now, Will was a member of a secret society dedicated to protecting the people of this hidden land inside of Lake Eaton. You see, for as long as the people of Lake Eaton State Park could remember, they had been subject to the attacks of Joseph, the leader of an evil group of characters, or of lions, character lions, there we go, of lions, who enjoyed scaring and playing tricks on these peaceful people of Lake Eaton's hidden lands. The lions seemed to enjoy scaring them more than anything in the world. Thankfully, the secret society that Will was a part of made it their goal to root out the evil of these lions. Will's backstory is typical for someone who joins a society to protect those unable to protect themselves. When he was young, he fell victim to one of the tricks the lions played. Back then, it was Joseph's father who ran the group of lions, and many say that he was the cruelest leader yet. After being scared when still a child, Will made it his goal to never be scared again. He spent his youth conquering all of his fears, and when he reached adulthood, he was quickly welcomed into the fight against the lions. From his first day on duty, he excelled at thwarting the plans of the lions, especially those of Joseph, which infuriated Joseph. He wanted nothing more than to be as successful as his father had been at scaring and making pranks. Every time that Joseph would try something, there would be Will to stop him. Because Will had become such a thorn in Joseph's side, he decided to set a trap for Will. He found the perfect place, a small hut in the middle of Lake Eaton's hidden land, amongst the rolling hills. Within this hut, he set a trap. And he cried out for help as loud as he could. Being a lion, his roar was very loud, but he added a slight high-pitched noise to it so as to disguise it. And he cried out and cried out. He had heard from his scouts that Will was nearby scouting and knew that he would come running. As per the norm, Will did not hesitate. He sprung into action, racing off towards the sounds of distress. He listened for the scream and would follow it around every corner until he had pinpointed it to that small shack in the middle of the field. And this is where I need to know. Does Will run recklessly and kick down the door to save the person in distress? Or will he open cautiously? We are going to run a poll. Go ahead and vote on that poll, and we'll move on with the story. Boy, I like this story so far. This Will guy sounds like he's pretty cool. Looks like we're going to kick down the door. Will was caught up in the moment, and without hesitating, he kicked down the door and charged forward. Unfortunately, because he was moving so fast, he saw the tripwire a few seconds too late. He couldn't stop in time. He heard the snap of the line and looked up just in time to see a heavy iron cage fall right over him. He struggled for a moment, and although the sound of the thud was so heavy he knew that he couldn't move it, he tried and tried again. If only he had been cautious and looked before he ran through the door. Perhaps this is a trap he could have avoided. Oh. I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't like that timeout. I can fix that. Sorry about that, Slick Willy. Anyhow, so he was trapped in the cage. He looked around the room, trying to find a method of escape. He saw nothing that could help him within reach. He looked for a lever, something to help him pick up the cage. A way to open the door. There was nothing. The room was essentially empty. The room just looked like it led to another room. Nothing on the walls, no windows. The perfect room to hold somebody prisoner. And just as he began to lose all hope, the door on the other side of the room creaked open and a shadow appeared. Why, hello, Will. I've been expecting you. It was Joseph, the lion. Will's blood immediately began to boil. And he replied, "So this was all a setup?" Joseph smiled and said, "Yes, you've become quite the pain, and it's time for this to end." Will was not quite certain how to take that. He was both scared and intrigued at the same time. It was both an opportunity and a chance for failure. Will, never being one to back down, said, "Are you too scared to let me out of this cage?" With a mischievous smile. Too scared? What do you guys think? Is he too scared? Or does Joseph open the door? Ba-da-da-da. I don't know. This Joseph seems... Oh, it didn't create it, did it? I forgot the exclamation mark. There we go. Sorry, my bad. Forgot the exclamation mark. Let's try that again. Sorry about the sniffling, guys. It's a little cold down here. No, probably not a pleasant noise. My apologies. Should have turned my heater on sooner. Alrighty, votes are in. And it looks like Joseph is going to let Will out of the cage. Well, that's a surprising turn of events. Joseph did not want to be accused of being a coward. So he unlocked the door and then said, "Follow me to the basement, and we will end this for good." Will had already fallen for one trick, and, as such, was nervous to fall for another. So Will replied, "No, I'm sure there are more traps. I shall not follow you." Joseph did not seem bothered by this answer. In fact, he laughed, and this made Will very uncomfortable. And as he laughed, he said, "I thought you might say that." And before Will could react, Joseph reached out and with a decisive roar, hit a hidden lever on the wall, and a trap door opened up right under Will's feet. Dun dun dun! Dropping him into the basement. Will, surprisingly, landed on a big fluffy pile of pillows. Wasn't quite what he had expected. And when he got up, he looked around. The basement was much more well lit than the room above had been, and in the center of it was a table with a couple cups of what he could only think was coffee. The aroma filled the room. It smelled amazing. And two luxurious armchairs were sitting at the table. Will didn't know what to think. Number 2 casually walked down the stairs with a teethy grin on his face, wandered over to the table, and took a seat in the comfortable-looking chair. He motioned to Will and said, "Come, sit. Let's talk." And then he took a sip of the golden brown liquid. Will was clearly confused at this point. He'd fallen down a trapdoor into a pile of pillows. He was confronted by this evil lion, who now was asking him to have coffee with him. He was not quite certain what to do. And the look of confusion was clear to Joseph. And Joseph said, "What do you expect? A fight to the death? Have my fellow lions ever been the type to commit violent crimes?" Will, a bit taken aback, said, "Well, you tricked me into this place with a fake cry for help. Wasn't certain what to expect," with a hint of frustration in his voice. Number 2 again motioned. The lion motioned. "Come on." For Will to sit. This time, Will did, although it was clear that he was still on his guard. And Joseph said, "I would like to discuss what has led us to this point, Will." Will quickly replied, "Your evil tricks and insistence on scaring the peaceful people of Lake Eaton's hidden land has led us here." Joseph sat back and sighed and nodded his head as if in agreement, accepting the point. And he said, "You're not wrong, my friend, and I have continued what has been a terrible practice that was passed down to me from my father and to him from his mother before him. Most of us who are now a member of this group are aware that what we do is not the right thing. But whenever we've tried to stop, you and your little gang of friends who like to thwart our plans have harassed us whenever we enter the town. So, rather than hide in the shadows, we continued with our old ways in the light. At least then we could see people, even if it was scaring them. Will started to reply but then he realized that Joseph wasn't wrong. He did remember short periods of peace, and every time that the lions would appear, he and his friends would immediately confront them, even if they weren't doing wrong. He was a bit stuck. He didn't know how to continue with the conversation. But Joseph continued for him. I would like to propose a truce. I will send out the command to all lions to stop our scaring and tricks. In return, you are to treat us as if we are normal citizens of Lake Eaton, and don't hold us accountable for the crimes of our ancestors. Will took a sip of the coffee, thought about it for a moment, and realized that Joseph was right. The lions had never been given a fair chance, even when they stopped their tricks. And that wasn't fair. He had just gone on the assumption that everything was as it had been in the past. And with that, they shook hands. A friendship was made, and the world of Lake Eaton was changed forever. The lions and the other citizens of this hidden paradise lived in peace. The only tricks played were those in good fun. And so ends today's tale. Who would thunk it? Lions. And all these other people getting along, living in the same world. But fighting for so long just because that's how it was. Just goes to show that things don't always have to be the same. Well, what did you guys think of tonight's story? Let me know. Let me know if you think the camera's a little better. Let me know if you think things ran a little smoother. I think this one went a little bit smoother than it usually does, but that's just my opinion. The opinion of my viewers is what's more important. Exactly, traditions can change. M. O'Hara gets it. Things don't always have to be the same, especially if things aren't ideal. Sometimes, sitting down with a couple cups of coffee and talking out what's going on can solve your problems. Picture is sharper, yeah. So I figured out what was wrong with it, and it definitely looks a lot better now. It was my fault. I had one of the settings wrong. So I don't use the best camera. I'm going to probably get a new one eventually. Good. I'm glad to hear that Will liked it. That's exciting, because he is, in theory, my target audience. That was the sound of something falling. Maybe because I have a creeper in the background walking around doing things. Another one. There will be another one on Wednesday, Will. And I changed my settings so that they're recorded now. So if you do feel the desire to watch it again, it's there. You can see the story that we made up together whenever you want. I'll also be uploading it to YouTube once I download it. It'll be on both of them. If you haven't gone and checked out my YouTube page yet, please do. Yeah. I really liked our main character in this one, Will. He seemed like he was a pretty awesome guy. And our bad guy in this didn't seem that bad at all, M. O'Hara. Delta Breeze, I bet you didn't know that there was a hidden place in Lake Eaton this whole time. I did. I'd been there. How do you think I remembered this story? It's crazy. The lions are so nice now. It's wonderful. Really is. Yeah, you missed out. I guess I should have told you earlier. Maybe the next time you go, you can hang out there. Anyhow, I'm gonna call this over. It was fun. I enjoyed the story. I'll be live again Wednesday at 7. Hopefully I won't have any technical hiccups this time. And we'll tell another story then. Got a couple more ideas I'm gonna work on. Planning on always improving the stream. Feel free to tell people about me at this point. I'm comfortable with it now. It's running smooth enough that I don't mind if people start tuning in. And hopefully we'll get some more interaction in the chat, get some people to come in. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. And I will catch you later. Chat will probably be open for a few more minutes.